الحمد لله وحده والصلاة والسلام على من لا نبي بعده وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. عن أنس بن مالك رضي الله عنه قال: كنت جالسا عند رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إذ مر رجل فقال رجل من القوم: يا رسول الله، والله إني لأحب هذا الرجل. فقال صلى الله عليه وسلم: أفلا أعلمته ذلك؟ فقام إلى الرجل فقال له: يا هذا إني أحبك في الله. فقال له الرجل: أحبك الله الذي أحببتني فيه. Anas ibn Malik radiallahu anhu said, I was sitting with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam when a man passed by, and one of the people sitting with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, O Prophet of Allah, I swear by Allah that I love this man for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told him, did you tell him that? He said, no. He said, go and tell him. So he went to the man and he told him, by Allah, I love you for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the man answered, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala love you for loving me for his sake. In a different narration, he followed him to his house to tell him that. What do we get from this hadith? We fall into this. Our nature is somehow contaminated with negativity. We tend to reveal the negatives and hide the positives. When you see something wrong with your brother, you immediately jump and correct him. That is, if you want correction. But when you see something good about your brother, you just walk away. We tend to not show our feelings if it's positive, but show it if it's negative. You love someone and you never tell him you love him. You never express your good feeling toward him that makes him so happy. Yet, when you see something wrong, you immediately go under the cover of, I'm advising him for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I am enjoining good and forbidding evil. I'm not belittling that or saying that you're not. But why you do this and you don't do that? When someone is doing good, how many people appreciate the good work? Very few. How many people say Jazakallahu khairan or give him a gift or do something? Very few. But if the person is not doing his job or misses a little bit in his work, everyone is criticizing. Why the good we don't make it grow and the bad eliminated? Why can't we forget the bad if the good is more? Why the Prophet ﷺ told us, advising husbands and wives and such, if you hate one manner from your spouse, there are many that you like. Meaning, let it go. Don't pick on that and forget the good. Focus on the good. This is the positivity. This is what we call true believers who do things for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and want to have a healthy environment. They want to have a healthy environment at home, healthy environment in the masjid, at school, everywhere they are. They try to ignore the negative things. Now, this is different. Don't mix negative things with haram things. Haram things you have to enjoy good and forbid evil. It's not like he does haram, I have to ignore that because he comes and prays jama'ah. No, haram has to be stopped. You gotta enjoy good and forbid evil. But I'm talking about things that is not haram. Things that you notice in the person that you have so many other good things. Why we don't show that? Why we don't show our positive feeling to one another? And sometimes we say, look at the action. That's nice. Action proves, but not all the time. I can love someone and not do anything. True or false? False. That's fake love. But I can do good things to a person without loving him. True or false? True. So action doesn't necessarily mean proves that you love the person. So that's why if you were to say relationship between children and parents and husband and wife, you say, oh, look at the action. But maybe the husband or the wife never ever said, I love you to one another. But look what I'm doing. Yeah, you could be doing things, but that doesn't mean you love the person. Even if you do, it's always good to hear the good word. We like to, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Qulu linnasi husna. Speak, not just feed or give or hand, also speak. So talking is positive and action is positive. But you love someone, you see someone, and you never tell him. Look at the Prophet ﷺ. Did you tell him? No. He said, oh, next time tell him. He didn't say that. He said, go and tell him. To show how important it is to do that. Otherwise, he would have just told him, okay, next time if you see him, just tell him you love you, right? But he said, no, go. And he followed him, and he told him that. And it's obvious that he loves him for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Meaning, it's obvious that the other person is good. Who can tell me how? From the hadith. How did I conclude that the other person is really good? That's why he loves him for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Say it again.
He made the dua for him.
Ahsant. His answer. When someone tells you, I love you for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to know how to answer that is a sign that you have knowledge. If someone comes and tells you, I love you for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, majority of us would say, thank you, brother. Sah? What did he say? أحبك الله الذي أحببتني لأجله. Wow, hefty knowledge. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala love you. It's not like, may I love you or may you get something. If Allah loves you, you're guaranteed Jannah. That you loved me for His sake. It's not because of who I am or because of my money or my looks or whatever. You were sincere in loving me for His sake. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one you loved me for, love you too. It's like, I love you, and you say, may Allah love you. That's a lot better than me loving you. It's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to love you. This is like when someone sneezes and you say, Yarhamuk Allah. Look at the answer. يهديكم الله ويصلح بالكم. Wow. May Allah guide you and mend all of your affairs and make it perfect. And then some people hide the sneeze, and some people say it between themselves as if they're not in need for the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And some people, when you tell them that, they don't say anything, or they say thank you. Look at the knowledge and look at the dua. Just as much as I am concerned about making dua for you, you should be concerned about making dua back for me. So the Prophet ﷺ did not say if someone sneezed and said Alhamdulillah, you tell him Yarhamuk Allah and that's it. And he also added, he said, and then for the other person, then you tell him Yahdikum Allah wa yuslihu balakum. You don't keep it silent. The same thing here. Uhibbuka fillah. I love you for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then you answer me, أحبك الله الذي أحببتني فيه. So show the feelings. This is the main thing in this hadith. Show your feeling, the positive feelings that makes other people feel good, and make dua for them to continue on being good. And you get the same thing, not only from people, but also from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I tell you, brothers and sisters, that I love you all for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As simple as, because you're here, because you are listening, because you are in the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is good enough to love you, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves you for that. جزاكم الله خيرا. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.